On the morning of June 18, 2023, a small submersible named Titan slipped beneath the surface of the North Atlantic Ocean, carrying 5 people bound for one of the most famous shipwrecks in history. None of them would return. The events of the next 4 days drew global attention and forced a reckoning with deep-seated questions about safety, regulatory oversight, and the limits of experimental deep-sea exploration that experts had been raising for years. Behind the search operation that dominated headlines was a story of ignored warnings and calculated risk that would only become fully visible once the wreckage was found. Titan was designed and operated by OceanGate, an American company that specialized in crewed expeditions to deep-sea sites. The submersible measured 6.7 meters in length and weighed approximately 10,432 kilograms. Its construction combined carbon fiber and titanium, 2 materials chosen for their strength-to-weight ratio at extreme depths. The pressure vessel at its core consisted of 2 titanium hemispherical domes bonded to a carbon fiber cylinder with an internal diameter of 142 centimeters. One of those domes served as the hatch and was fitted with a 380-millimeter acrylic viewport. Once passengers were sealed inside, the hatch could only be unbolted from the outside. The vessel was designed to carry 5 people, a pilot, a mission guide, and 3 paying passengers referred to by OceanGate as mission specialists. A ticket to the Titanic wreck site cost $250,000 per person. Expeditions lasted roughly 8 days in total, with passengers traveling to the dive site aboard a support ship called MV Polar Prince. Each dive from the surface to the wreck took approximately 2 hours, with the full excursion lasting around 8 hours. Throughout the descent, the submersible sent automated location updates every 5 to 10 seconds, and both vessels were expected to exchange check-in messages every 15 minutes. Well before the June 2023 dive, Titan had been the subject of serious concern among deep-sea engineering experts. OceanGate had notably chosen not to seek certification from established maritime classification bodies, a process that involves independent structural testing and ongoing safety review. The company's CEO, Stockton Rush, had publicly argued that the classification process was slow and stifling innovation. That position drew sharp criticism from figures within the submersible community, some of whom had put their concerns in writing years before the accident. Carbon fiber, while exceptionally strong under tension, behaves differently under the cyclic compressive stress of repeated deep dives. Each descent and ascent subjects the hull to enormous pressure changes, and carbon fiber is known to degrade over time under those conditions in ways that are difficult to detect visually. Multiple engineers and industry professionals had raised the alarm about this specific characteristic of Titan's design, noting that titanium, the material used for the end caps, and carbon fiber respond to stress in fundamentally different ways, which creates stress points at their junctions. Those warnings did not halt operations. Dives were also frequently canceled or aborted mid-mission due to weather conditions or mechanical issues, a pattern that spoke to the technical complexity and unpredictability of operating at such depths. On June 18, 2023, Titan submerged with 5 people aboard. They were Stockton Rush, OceanGate's chief executive, Paul-Henri Nargeolet, a renowned French deep-sea explorer and Titanic specialist, Hamish Harding, a British businessman and adventurer, Shahzada Dawood, a Pakistani-British businessman, and his son Suleiman Dawood. 1 hour and 33 minutes into the dive, contact between Titan and MV Polar Prince was lost. The submersible failed to resurface at its scheduled time later that day. Authorities were alerted, and an international search and rescue operation was launched across a vast stretch of the North Atlantic. What was not publicly known at that moment was that the United States Navy had already detected something significant. Hydroacoustic monitoring systems, originally designed to track submarine activity, had recorded an acoustic signature consistent with an implosion at roughly the time communications had gone silent. The Navy shared that information with the Coast Guard early in the search, though the full weight of what it suggested was not immediately disclosed to the public. 4 days after the submersible disappeared, a remotely operated vehicle deployed during the search located a debris field on the ocean floor approximately 500 meters from the bow of the Titanic wreck, at a depth of around 3,800 meters. The debris confirmed what the acoustic data had already indicated. Titan had not simply lost power or become stuck. It had suffered a catastrophic implosion. The physical evidence pointed to a failure of the carbon fiber hull under pressure. The repeated stress of previous dives is believed to have contributed to structural degradation that ultimately proved catastrophic. Investigators focused heavily on the junction between the carbon fiber cylinder and the titanium end rings, the precise area that multiple engineers had flagged as a vulnerability in the years prior. The disaster prompted widespread calls for mandatory certification requirements for crewed deep-sea submersibles, a regulatory gap that the accident brought into sharp relief. At the time of the implosion, no binding international standard required vessels like Titan to undergo independent third-party structural certification before carrying paying passengers to extreme depths. The 5 men aboard Titan were lost almost immediately after the dive began, though their families, the search crews, and the watching public would not learn that for 4 more days. The wreckage on the ocean floor, just a short distance from the Titanic itself, now stands as a permanent marker of what can happen when the margins of experimental engineering meet the unforgiving physics of the deep sea. The submersible became widely discussed on social media as the story developed and was the subject of public schadenfreude, inspiring grimly humorous internet memes, namely interactive video game recreations and image macros that ridiculed the submersible's deficient construction, OceanGate's perceived poor safety record, and the individuals who died. The memes were criticized as insensitive, with David Pogue regarding such media as inappropriate